You've been told to work hard. You've been told to wake up early, to keep your head down, to save what little you earn. And someday, it will all pay off. But here's the truth. Most people who work the hardest never become wealthy. They become tired. They become dependable, but not free. Look around. The janitor works harder than the CEO. The nurse pulls longer hours than the hospital director. The factory worker moves faster than the investor who owns the plant. If hard work alone created wealth, the world would look very different. You've been sold an illusion. That effort equals success. That hustle guarantees progress. But the world doesn't pay you for effort. It pays you for value. Value is not measured in sweat. It is measured in scale, strategy, and vision. There's a reason the wealthy don't talk much about how they got there, because it wasn't just about waking up earlier than others. It was about waking up with a different mindset. He knew something the average worker never learns, that time is limited, that energy burns out, that money must be multiplied, not earned 1 hour at a time. The world's economy doesn't reward those who grind. It rewards those who build. There are people working 14-hour shifts who can't afford groceries. There are others making more while sleeping than most will make in a year. Why? Because the wealthy build systems. They own, they automate, they invest. They think in decades, not days. They don't seek permission. They don't wait for retirement. They create freedom one decision at a time. There are people working 14-hour shifts who can't afford groceries. There are others making more while sleeping than most will make in a year. Why? Because the wealthy build systems. They own, they automate, they invest. They think in decades, not days. They don't seek permission. They don't wait for retirement. They create freedom one decision at a time. What's the real illusion? That your loyalty to a job will save you. That climbing the corporate ladder will make you rich. That comfort is safety. But comfort is the cage, and the ladder is leaning against the wrong wall. The people at the top didn't climb faster, built their own tower. You don't get rich by doing more. You get rich by doing different. Different thoughts, different risks, different rules. You've been trained to ask, how much will I earn? The wealthy ask, how much will this earn for me? This isn't about blame. You weren't taught how to think like this. You were raised in a system designed to keep you in your lane. But you're here now, which means you're already stepping out of it. You don't need to run faster. You need to rise higher. And that begins by letting go of the lie that hard work alone is enough. From this moment on, we stop working harder. We start working smarter. And we start thinking like the wealthy. The difference isn't money. It's mindset. That's the real line between those who struggle and those who thrive. Wealthy people see the world differently. They see time as a tool, not a trap. They see money as a servant, not a master. They see problems as doors. The average person thinks in hours and wages. The wealthy think in systems and results. Most ask, how much does it pay per hour? The wealthy ask, how many people can this idea reach while I sleep? That's not fantasy. That's leverage. You see, poor thinking is reactive. It waits for opportunity. It fears risk. It clings to security. Rich thinking is proactive. It creates opportunity. It manages risk. It builds resilience. One seeks comfort. The other seeks growth. One avoids failure. The other collects lessons. One waits to be told what to do. The other decides what must be done. The wealthy don't pray for raises. They create cash flow. They don't depend on one income. They diversify. They study patterns. They track numbers. They ask questions that scare people. How do I make this work without me? What if I never had to trade time again? What if I designed a life that earns even when I don't? This isn't about greed. It's about freedom. Freedom to wake up when you're rested. To create without pressure. To give without calculation. That's what real wealth buys. Options. Time. Dignity. While most people budget expenses, the wealthy budget energy. While most fear debt, the wealthy use good debt to create assets. While most save to survive, the wealthy invest to multiply. They don't chase shiny things. They build invisible engines. Businesses, systems, royalties, IP, ownership. They understand that time is the only non-renewable currency, so they don't waste it. They buy it back. They trade it upward. They build once and let it echo forever. One book, one course, one system, one property, one channel, one brand. Built right to last decades. You've been taught to look for guarantees. But wealth comes from knowing you can handle uncertainty. You've been taught to work harder. But wealth comes from working wiser. You've been taught to stay small. But everything changes when you start asking, what if I could build something bigger than me? So now you know. Wealth is not built by doing what everyone else is doing. It's built by seeing what they don't and acting before they're ready. In the next section, you'll discover how the wealthy stay focused, disciplined, and emotionally strong, long before the world sees their results, because strategy is nothing without self-mastery. People ask, what's the secret to success? The truth is, it's not a secret, it's not hidden, it's not mysterious, it's just boring. The secret is discipline. Everyone wants freedom. Very few are willing to earn it, because freedom isn't free. It's bought with thousands of tiny decisions made in silence. When no one is watching, when giving up would be easy, and quitting would make perfect sense. But you don't. The world praises passion, but it forgets consistency. The wealthy don't chase motivation. They follow systems. They know exactly what they do every morning, every week, every month. Because success is not a mood, it's a routine. They track, they plan, they reflect, they repeat. They don't get distracted by every trend. They don't celebrate prematurely. They just keep showing up. They don't rely on feelings. They rely on standards. They do what needs to be done, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one believes in them, because they know. Consistency compounds. It stacks. It multiplies. And one day without warning, the world takes notice. There's nothing glamorous about true discipline. It's not Instagrammable. It's not loud. It's early mornings, missed parties, silent progress. It's learning when others sleep, creating when others complain, sacrificing what's easy for what's real. Here's the paradox. Freedom doesn't come from avoiding structure. It comes from creating your own. When you design your life intentionally, you don't need motivation. You need clarity. Clarity kills doubt. Routine kills distraction. Discipline kills delay. That's how the wealthy win, not in moments of luck, but in years of invisible focus. Discipline isn't something you do. It becomes who you are. You stop chasing. You start becoming. You stop needing results. You start trusting your system. You stop asking, is this working yet? And you start saying, this is who I am now. There's no greater wealth than trusting yourself, trusting that you will follow through, that you'll finish what you started, that no matter how long it takes, you'll keep going. While others panic, you remain still. While others react, you respond. While others consume, you create. In a world obsessed with instant wins and quick success, you become rare. You become dangerous. Because your discipline cannot be broken. And when your habits match your ambition, your future becomes inevitable. In the next part of this journey, we will talk about what happens after wealth begins to grow, how to protect it, how to stay grounded, and how to live in full ownership of your time, your choices, your future. At some point in this journey, you stop chasing wealth and start becoming wealth, not just in your bank account, but in your mindset, your habits, your identity. Wealth is no longer something you seek. It's something you radiate. You begin to move differently, speak differently, decide differently. You're no longer trying to make it. You realize you already have. It's not because you're finished, but because you've become the type of person who finishes. It's the old version of you, the one who doubted, delayed, avoided, escaped, is gone. In their place is someone who acts, who builds, who chooses the long game, and it shows. Not in flashy displays, but in quiet confidence, in simple decisions, in calm mornings. Real wealth is not loud. It's not desperate. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's in the peace you feel walking into a room, not needing attention. It's in the freedom to say no without guilt, and yes without fear. It's waking up with no alarm. It's working because you want to, helping because you can, traveling when you feel like it, and sleeping without stress. You gave up excuses. You gave up distractions. You gave up waiting. And in return, you gained yourself. You stopped thinking like a consumer. You became a creator, a builder, a quiet force. Who you are now is no longer tied to your job, your title, or your balance sheet. Who you are now is measured in how deeply you think, how clearly you act, and how patiently you build. You've rewritten your identity, and with it, to your future. Because in the end, wealth isn't just money, it's time. It's agency, it's dignity, it's being able to choose your day, to choose your environment, to choose who gets access to your energy, to choose what matters and let go of what doesn't, and most importantly, to choose who you become next. So now you know. Wealth was never about chasing. It was about aligning. With vision, with your deeper self, this isn't the end of the road, it's the beginning of a new one. The quiet road to wealth was never just about money. It was about becoming the kind of person who could handle abundance without being consumed by it. You are that person now.